And the wait line looks like this. In the couple of hours that I've been here, I've seen ICE officers patrolling, and the line has looked the same since I got here. Completely empty. So if you see wait times go down while you're traveling, you may just want to thank an ICE officer.
These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
So as promised, it is now happening. Today marks the first time that ICE agents are officially being deployed to America's airports in order to supplement the manpower shortage being faced by the TSA. And let us not forget that the long wait times at our airports is a problem being caused entirely by Democrats who are currently shutting down the DHS in order to supposedly protest ICE, despite the fact that ICE is being independently funded by the One Big Beautiful Bill and is not in any way affected by the Homeland Security shutdown. But what Democrats are really doing is simply cutting the TSA, FEMA, Coast Guard, and counterterrorism in order to supposedly protest over immigration, as if somehow regular Americans are morally obligated to suffer because of the fact that leftist voters in Minneapolis decided to commit a bunch of domestic terrorism in their streets, and because Democrats cannot rein in and actively provoked their violent voter base to engage in violence and lawbreaking. Now, ICE should have to reform for this, and if ICE doesn't reform, then regular Americans should have to miss their flights and all this garbage. It's just utterly ridiculous. But to recap, what Trump has since said is that, okay, if TSA is facing massive problems due to the Democrats, then guess what part of Homeland Security Democrats are not defunding? ICE and Border Patrol. So why not deploy ICE agents to America's airports to actually supplement the manpower shortage? And of course, this has caused rampant meltdown by a bunch of leftists who actually showed up to the airports today to protest, which I don't think is exactly a good look for them. You know, you consider how this is being perceived by the ordinary Americans just trying to catch their flights. So here we have people shortening the wait times at the airports, and Democrats are protesting saying, no, you should miss your flight. Screw your vacation. So I'm not sure how that messaging is going to go over. But nonetheless, my favorite part of the ICE deployment to the TSA is the fact that it is actually working. As a matter of fact, at the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport today, where ICE agents were sent first, we saw wait times get reduced by almost close to an hour, and the problem with the long lines, although it's still not non-existent because of the fact it's obviously spring break, has largely been reduced and mitigated. So what's really happening here is while leftists are standing there, first of all, defunding the TSA, then protesting over ICE agents being at the airport, the image that's being sent to regular Americans is that the ICE agents are useful, helpful people that are assisting you and actually turning out not to be these murderous Nazi freaks that they've been framed as. As I said, I don't think this entire issue is going to go over well for Democrats, and I hope this policy stays there permanently. Nonetheless, let's tell you about this here today. Let's also show you the moment where CNN is forced to admit that the ICE deployment is actually working, and the hysteria and the meltdowns and the protesting inside the airport that we have seen ever since. First, though, guys, do us a favor. If you enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We greatly appreciate the support, but it also ensures that you can stay up to date with all of the latest news and coverage. And that said, let's take a listen here to CNN, of all networks, explain to us how the ICE deployment to our airports is actually going.
Finally, we can take a deep breath here. The numbers have dropped off. The lines are getting shorter. I think the average wait time now is under 40 minutes. So if you have a flight to catch today, it's a good time to come to Hartsfield-Jackson International. Talking about those ICE agents, you can see a few behind me right there. And then I'm going to walk you this direction, and you can see some more of them gathered over here. This is what they've been doing for the most part today, is doing the patrols around the airport, talking and gathering, not really helping the public in the sense of they're not taking tickets from anybody. They're not interacting with the public we've seen so far. They're not checking anyone's ID. At the TSA checkpoints, they're not doing that as well. So the big question is, what have they been doing mostly? Well, it's been providing perimeter security, as you can see over here. If we come back this direction, there's also a contingent of officers over here. And the reason why is what we're being told is there's a protest scheduled against ICE here at the airport in the next 2 hours or so. So now you have extra police officers from the Atlanta Police Department ready to respond to what may happen when protesters arrive. And we've been told they actually applied for a permit. So now you're bringing all these people, surging them into one area. This is where the lines have been long throughout the day. The lines now are gone. So that's a good news, whether it's the north, the south terminals, or even the main checkpoint. We've been told that the lines now, again, are under 30 minutes, which is fantastic. That's after Sunday, when it was more than 5 hours and we saw lines stretch outside the building. When we arrived here at 6 a.m. this morning, there were thousands of people trying to get through the airport. We talked to several people who we just checked through to try to see how long it would take them. Average wait time was over 2 hours. And right now, the airport GM is actually telling us they believe the numbers are about a 30% call out. And now we've talked to TSA steward who tells us, look, they believe things could get better, but they want to get paid sometime soon.
And I think you can clearly tell based on the numbers alone that this deployment is highly effective, because yesterday Hartsfield-Jackson was dealing with an average wait time of about 5 hours, which is ridiculous. That's insane. There's no way that's even real. And then now, as of Monday afternoon, now that ICE agents have arrived, they've gotten settled in, they filed into the building, we're looking at a very normal wait time of about 30 minutes, and the big, gigantic lines that were wrapping outside of the airports have visibly disappeared. Very interesting how that works. And I would argue there's two key reasons for this, why the deployment has been so ultimately effective. First and foremost, yes, it's just the manpower issue. As Tom Homan explained in the video we did yesterday, despite the liberal fear-mongering about how ICE are not trained to do TSA work, what is going on here, that it's not that they're being sent to work the metal detectors or check the IDs or actually do the security checkpoint, but when it comes to airport security, there's a lot of random officers that you just need to basically stand at the door, right? Guard the perimeter, make sure people are not coming back into the checkpoint after they've already left, etc., etc. And what ICE being there does is effectively gives the TSA the manpower to where they don't have to worry about those sort of exterior duties, and they can just focus all the manpower they have on running the metal detectors and operating the checkpoint. And so certainly you're seeing that aspect of it is already working and being extremely effective. But secondly, okay, here's the other question I think we have to ask ourselves. Once again, how many illegal aliens actually live in this country? The common consensus we heard for many years was 10, 15 million. Now right-wingers typically believe it's around 20 to 30 million. But you notice every time that ICE shows up in a city on a public announcement, now they show up at an airport, suddenly the crowds seem to dissipate. I don't know. It's a really interesting question here. You look at how overcrowded airports have become over the past couple years. It feels like the general experience of flying has degraded itself. I think we also have to ask ourselves a serious question. Are airports simply emptying themselves out because the illegal aliens are just now, sitting back, choosing not to go through them? Keep in mind, too, the Trump administration made a move back in, I think it was last fall, like November of 2025, that basically ensured that TSA would be able to share the immigration data with ICE and all of that central database, right? But before that, when it came to U.S. domestic flights, by my understanding, TSA wasn't even really checking your immigration status when you boarded a plane, which is obviously insane, but then keep that in mind too. And then so now we have ICE at the airport, nobody's showing up to the airport, the lines have reduced a lot. I'm not exactly sure. And then, it's just something to consider. I don't know, right? Does that have something to do with it as well? And then lastly, I sincerely have to sit here and hope that liberals just choose to stop flying, okay? They give us extra leg room, shorter wait times. We can enjoy, the airport in peace. And because, we're scared of ICE, we're not going to show up. Yeah, cancel your vacation, liberals. Please do it right now, right? Because I'm sick of dealing with way too many crowds at a bunch of different places. And by the way, according to you, if these people are allegedly Nazi murderers, they're shooting Americans for no reason, which I doubt you actually believe, but if you really do believe it and you're like, ICE are going to kill people at the airports, okay, fair enough. Don't go to the airport. Don't show up. Please stop flying. Please cancel your vacations. And I hope, by the way, effectively they are able to do that. And we just have a general lack of problems at the airport, okay? No more illegals, no more liberals. What a wonderful situation. And as I even, stated before, I think that this is actually a great PR opportunity for ICE. Because a lot of normal Americans who probably are just not that involved, not that interested, but they hear the headlines about ICE murdering people, them being the Gestapo, all the hype and all this, right? I think it's a great opportunity for them, first of all, to meet ICE agents, to see them, to observe, oh, they are completely regular people. But then secondly, as it pertains to the travel situation, they're leaving their vacations with a positive view, a positive experience with ICE, because guess what? ICE is reducing their overall wait times at the airport. So, frankly, I almost hope to a degree that Democrats keep grandstanding over DHS, and hey, even if they choose to refund the TSA, let's just keep ICE at the airports from now until the midterms, so that way all Americans who are, generally traveling, whatever experience they have, right, they can meet ICE agents, they can see them. It's actually a great PR opportunity, and it's something, by the way, that's going to make Democrats look really stupid if they fearmonger about these masked Gestapo Nazis, the shadow police, the SS for several months, and then Americans finally see these people, finally interact with them and realize, oh, they're completely normal. Oh, I kind of like these guys, right? Which does, by the way, appear to be the experience on the ground. Ordinary travelers don't care about the stupid political issues at hand here. They're just saying, oh, the wait time got shorter. They saved my trip. Very good. I like these guys. Yeah, it's sort of how human interaction works, right? But take a listen.
As long as they don't bother anybody, I'm okay. I was concerned about people. So they're not bothering us. Let's get it done.
I like that they're here. I think that it's allowing us to move and get to where we need to go.
It's kind of scary in a sense because you don't know what to expect with ICE.
As long as they can help us move a little bit faster, maybe they can take some of the work off the TSA agents as far as, general security. I'm all for it.
You have an interesting story. He was here yesterday waiting in these lines, and now he's back here today for an 8 p.m. flight. What happened?
Yeah, so I got in yesterday. I got in here 4 hours before my flight. Still missed it by about 2 hours. The pre-check stuff was all closed. The Sky Priority lanes were all closed. So I just went home and thought I'll try it again tomorrow. So I showed up 8 hours early today.
Extra early, and I kind of want to get my photographer to give our viewers a look at just how bad the line is right now. Richard, have you ever experienced anything like this at an airport?
I travel a lot, and I have not seen it this bad. The line was actually wrapped around the airport a few times yesterday. I've never seen it quite this chaotic, but, we're making it work. Everybody's pretty calm for the most part, so I think folks are patient.
Yes, good spirits despite what's going on here. And this is, of course, all happening as TSA workers are getting $0 paychecks. ICE agents are here in Atlanta today helping out, just trying to alleviate this. What are your thoughts on that?
If they can help speed things up, why not? I kind of wish they would put the mask down, but otherwise I think that everybody can use the help. So as long as they can help out, get these lines to move a little bit faster, everybody's happy.
Yeah, see, what did I tell you? Normal human being. It doesn't sound like he's even the biggest supporter of ICE. He disagrees with the mask policy and all that. But at the end of the day, who is he? A normal guy trying to get on a plane. And if he associates the fact that ICE agents are helping him to do so, he's going to walk away with a generally positive view of ICE agents. It's not that complicated. It's rather normal and basic human psychology, which is exactly why Democrats are going to look really stupid and come out on the losing end of this issue, especially if ICE agents permanently stay in America's airports, which I certainly hope they are, and I certainly hope that either creates some deterrence for illegal aliens, or better yet, I don't know, maybe we can even catch some illegals in the meantime, who knows. But that said, so we have the normal people there, right? Again, they want to make their flights. It's just, well, they're people, they're normal people. Of course, we also have the not normal people, aka the leftists, who have completely taken the bait on this issue. They've decided to show up, of course, as we hinted at, to protest at the airports against the ICE agents and allow millions of normal Americans to see, oh, the political left wants me to stand longer in line and miss my flight. The ICE agents are trying to help me make my flight. Huh. Not very good optics, you would think, but don't tell that to the leftists. These people are not normal. These people are crazy. Check it out.
Master, Donald Trump. Go back to your master. Putin, exactly. And Netanyahu, if he's still alive, go back to your master.
I found that.
I mean, it's just too easy. The optics of this are simply incredible, as Blake here points out. ICE goes in, and within 1 day, they decrease wait times by like 1,000%, and then these tards expose themselves by protesting what they're doing. Again, protesting on behalf of longer wait times at airports. The average person will see this and correctly characterize that woman as a psycho, which she absolutely is. But then, even consider the other component of this, which is the hype around ICE agents is that they're snatching and disappearing people. They're kidnapping American citizens. They're shooting American citizens. And, that's what you're told. The average American probably has not consciously really probably seen an ICE agent in their lives. And then they see the actual ICE agents. ICE agents are generally kind of just standing there, minding their own business, shaking some hands, even being friendly.
Hey guys, we all go into security. The line actually starts that way. So when you get up there, come on back.
And then this line for like 2 hours, and this guy just walked in and hopped on the elevator.
And then we just have some random leftists screaming in the middle of the airport. Now, generally speaking, okay, it's sort of a good rule that anyone screaming anything, like an idiot or a lunatic in the middle of the airport is seen as being crazy or mentally ill to everybody else. But now there's a political component to it. Yeah, indeed. Oh, that person is crazy, mentally ill. And guess what? Oh, a leftist? Or even forget left, right, normal Americans. Okay. Like the Democrat person, the person against ICE, they're this crazy, and then the ICE guys are this normal. Yeah. Again, the optics of this are a disaster for Democrats, but as we so often say,
these people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
And they're displaying it to the whole world in a place arguably like no other. Because, how much does the average voter or even the average American necessarily engage with political news? It's probably a very marginal amount. I mean, how many really are watching cable TV news every single day or engaging with political content on social media? Even how many watch the full State of the Union? We don't exactly know, but what we can say for sure is an airport or centers of travel are arguably the places where, yes, truly like everyday Americans, even the less political ones, are going to, in this case, have some type of interaction between now and the midterms going through the airports, and that's the image they're going to see. The ICE agents being the completely normal, rational, sane people, and these lunatic left-wing psychos just screaming at them and protesting in the middle of the airport. You're probably thinking to yourself, what the heck is the point of that, right? I mean, generally, none of us want to have our travel disrupted, and so when you come in and people are just screaming like lunatics in the airport, it's not a very good mental connotation you get from it. And oh, by the way, that's now the connotation of the left. So, great job here. Again, I repeat, I hope this stays permanent. Even if they refund the TSA. Okay, TSA still lost a lot of manpower. Some people quit the agency permanently, and if you want to speed up the whole wait time, yeah, have the ICE agents patrol all these airports. It's a fantastic idea. Great PR. Thank you, leftists, by the way, for taking the bait. I hope you start staging massive No Kings protests in the middle of airports so that way all of the American people can see how crazy you are, how deranged you often look and sound and smell. I mean all those things literally. And, the contrast between, I guess, our side and their side, it's an amazing optical thing to witness. So that said, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and until next time, God bless and peace.